You are listening to Tales Yet Told, an actual play show dealing in horrific and often heavy topics and themes at the intersection of queerness and horror. Content warnings, list of cast and crew, and other relevant links can be found in the description. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everyone, my name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer, and it's finally here, the finale of Our Lives in the Wood. This episode is already pretty long, so I'm not going to waste your time. I just have a few things to get out of the way. This episode doesn't have an opening narration from the writer. He's a little busy watching that tape that Letha and the others showed him. This episode is his reaction to its contents, and explores how that reaction will shape the Sublime forever. In a way, he too is playing this game with us. Speaking of which, this episode is an actual play of the one-word TTRPG We Are But Worms by Taylor LaBreche. I originally discovered this game through Brandon O'Brien's article in Rascal about lyric games, and I was struck by the quote, "What does it mean to even try to play this game rules as written?" The PDF for the game has only a singular word within the bounds of what could be considered rules for this game. Writhe. What does it mean to writhe? How do we writhe in play? And am I playing the game purely by thinking about it? I had a lot of questions that only making art could answer, so I present you this, a piece of art. Episode 8 of Our Lives in the Wood, The Rising of a Violet Sun.
If you can make anything happen, then make the sun turn purple right now.
Sure, why not? Okay, what's the best way to write this? Yes. Azure skies and teal clouds, purple suns. Wait, no, that one doesn't work. Let's see. No, I've got it. The rising of violet sun.
Our camera fades in, and we see Sublime County in all its mountainous majesties and spacious skies. In its fruited forests and playful paths, we see a world made to be paradise. But who decides what is paradise? Do we think this is paradise? Who have we become in the time that we've spent together? Perhaps we're the storytellers who choked on their own fears and gave thanks. The Sublime is a nostalgic place. There are broken families, lonely tears, and street lamps. You can spend time after school at the arcade or stop at the bar after work, though you always drink alone. Who have we become in the time that we've spent listening? Perhaps we've become the gears who forgot that the machine only runs when we turn and turn, and we turn to look downwards, between the trees, to a farm on the outer roads of the county. We see a set of footprints in the dirt, leading up the path to a cozy farmhouse that appoints Lonnie and Regina's orchard. It is always fall in the Sublime, so the apple trees are never without fruit. Who do we see standing at the door right where the footprints end?
A young woman, Victoria Cooper, or Vix, as her friends, neighbors call her. She has long coiled auburn hair, black at the roots, brown skin flicked with freckles across the face. She's wearing a t-shirt, overalls, and she's carrying a messily, hastily gathered basket of eggs. And her knuckles shake just above the door before rapping on it.
As your hand goes to knock on the door, I have a question. Between the front page of your morning paper being plastered in the destruction of Oak Creek and the chicken guts you found in your bed this morning, which image is stuck in your mind right now?
As confused as Fix is, she still can't get the viscera out of her mind.
The feeling of wetness on your hands lingers, despite the fact there's nothing there. Nothing but a basket full of eggs that you've collected from chickens that are surprisingly quiet this morning. You knock on the door, and for a while there's no response. You can hear cooking from inside. You can smell cooking from inside. Perhaps they're cooking too loudly. As you turn to look around, just appraising the scene, you see the tracks left behind by Regina's utility vehicle leading towards the orchard, meaning that she must be out in the fields. The smells and sounds must be coming from Lonnie making breakfast. What you'd give for a roommate. Between the two, who do you make sure you go see?
Honestly, the sudden sound and then the waft of breakfast almost makes Vix's mouth salivate. She licks her incisors, and she goes to see if she can peer through a kitchen window and maybe catch Lonnie to let her know that she's here.
Victoria, you walk to the side of the house where the windows leading into the kitchen are. You make your way around to the shrubs just outside the windows. They're fruiting, as they always are, because it's always fall here. And you look up in the window and you see Lonnie. What is the first thing you notice about her face this morning?
Normally, it's Lonnie's dark eyes, and sometimes her long, fine hair, and other times it's how defined her nose is. But today, it's her lips.
You see that despite how early it is in the morning, she's already applied her lipstick. A bright red, almost as delicious as an apple. You notice in this moment as she's going between pots and pans in the sink, that she hasn't noticed you yet.
I think without even realizing that she's been doing it, Victoria is crouched in these bushes. She doesn't know herself, but her pupils are slightly dilated. And she realized that she's hunched down. There's no way anyone would be able to see her through the window like this. And she stands up, brushes herself off, steals her composure a bit, and waves in an attempt to get Lonnie's attention.
It takes a moment, but Lonnie finally catches your form waving to her from outside. She pauses. She gives you a smile, waves back, and motions for you to come towards the front door. You notice there was a pause, though, before she did.
It was probably nothing.
Of course.
And Vix runs over to the door.
You run over to the door, and by the time you're there, she already has the door open, ready to receive you. She's wearing something cozy and cute. Is cute the right word? Would you use cute for what she's wearing?
Appetizing. Cute. No, cute's right.
Oh, Vix. What are you doing? What were you doing sneaking out back there? You could have just came in. You know we don't lock it.
Oh, well, I just, I don't want to surprise you or anything. I just wanted to stop by. Nobody came by to pick up this morning. Did anyone come for you? I know you also had a delivery scheduled.
No. I think after, all that, everything went down, I think all that's been put on pause. I mean, sit down. Hold on. Can I get you something? And she begins walking towards the kitchen to go grab you a drink of water, lemonade. What usually do you ask for when you're here?
Usually sweet tea, if not water, when she's been doing her rounds in the summer.
Sweet tea it is?
Summer.
Yes. You can hear the sounds of her clinking glasses and getting something out of the fridge from the kitchen.
Vix puts the basket of eggs on the table and looks around a bit nervously before calling out, "Do you know what happened? I'm really out of the loop. I've been not sleeping well. I saw something in the paper. I've been dealing with a lot back on the farm, so I'm kind of out of the loop. Is there something horrible happened?"
From inside the kitchen, there's a pause in the clinking of the glasses. "Yeah, something happened." The clinking begins again. "It's awful what it is."
Is anyone hurt? What?
She comes out from the kitchen carrying a tray with a pitcher of sweet tea and 2 glasses. "Oh, Vix." She places it on a small table in between the two of you. You've found one of those comfortable hand-stitched chairs that Regina made. "Vix, they don't know how many people got hurt yet. They're still counting the bodies."
Oh. And Victoria retreats into herself for a minute, and there's a flash of chicken carcasses strewn about her farmhouse before she looks back up again.
"You know that church up in Oak Creek?"
Of course.
"Somebody attacked it, blew it up, some kind of bomb or something. They don't know quite yet, but they're saying it's anarchists. They're saying it might be the start of another war."
Victoria's stunned, and she wants to comment on that, but her focus is slipping. It's just zeroing in on Lonnie's lips.
You see that as she speaks, her lips dance there. Despite everything that she's saying, the deaths, the pain, the loss, the grief, somehow her lips still look so beautiful, so delicious, like an apple or a heart.
What have you been doing? What do we do? Do people need help?
I can't rightly say. I've been trying to talk with Regina about it, but and Lonnie turns away in the way that people do when they have things to say they can't. I just don't know. I was thinking about driving into town maybe later today, see if there's some kind of blood drive going or something of the nature. It's just not right.
I mean, that would be nice, but is it even safe? I haven't even been feeling very safe in my own home recently.
Oh yeah, you still got that fox problem or chickens going? I'm sorry, you told me probably a dozen times and I forget every time.
Yeah, I'm losing more every night. I don't think that this is related at all, but so many scary things happening at once.
Yeah, it is. As the two of you are sitting here, you hear the front door open. It creaks in the way that farm doors do. And you hear the bootsteps of Regina coming in. What is it about Regina that you don't like?
That piercing gaze. That gaze that knows something that Victoria doesn't, but she'll never tell.
When Regina walks into the room, it feels like the air gets sucked out, the way that everyone stops talking. Hey, Victoria? Didn't know you were coming around? What's up?
Oh. And Vix straightens herself up, not realizing that she had been leaning in towards Lonnie this entire time. I came by because I heard about what had happened, and I was a bit confused. It sounds like something terrible is going down, and, I'm alone up there, so...
Yeah. It's real bad what happened. It's a damn shame. I'm gonna go get washed up. See you in a bit. And there is, as she kind of just tersely shuts down and begins to walk past, she puts a hand on Lonnie's shoulder, and you can't tell, but it feels like she recoils. Maybe you just hope she did. And Regina walks back towards the bathrooms.
Lonnie, are you all right?
Huh? Oh. Yeah, no, I'm fine, sweetie. I'm fine. There's just so much going on. And I think there's the smell of things that were still cooking in the kitchen that begin to smell kind of sour and burnt. And you see Lonnie's head kind of perk up and go, oh, damn it. And she kind of runs into the kitchen. Sorry, I'll be right back. And you can hear her messing about in the kitchen as you hear Regina and back towards the bedrooms or the bathrooms getting ready to take a shower.
And Vic swears that she can hear both of those things occurring much clearer than she should be able to.
Well, what do you do?
Her head is a bit on a swivel, turning at every sound, every clink, every sizzle, every turning of a faucet, every creak of a board upstairs. It's getting to be a bit much, and she licks her incisors again. She licks her canines, and she quietly follows Lonnie into the kitchen.
As you take a step into the kitchen, you see her there, taking one of the pans off of the burner, quickly trying to scrape out its contents onto a plate on the counter. What she's wearing looks so appetizing and cute. Yeah, no, it looks cute. But in this moment, when you see her there, there's a way that the light kind of shines off the back of her head, giving her this kind of like halo. And it highlights, like, really, like, from the profile, just how red her lips are. Or maybe it's everything is red, as you start to notice the shifting of the light outside the window. I think it catches both of you off guard when the blue skies begin to tinge orange. Do you keep looking at her, or do you look to see what changes the light?
I think it's hard. She has to tear herself away, but she does turn slightly to see what's shifted in the sky.
And you see the rising of a violet sun, painting the skies in purples, golds, and reds, like the beheading of a king. We watch as the second sun climbs into the sky, trying to catch up with its much older sibling. You feel yourself being drawn into its eldritch light as you take a couple of steps forward, closer to the windows of the kitchen. You feel the light wash over you. Everything the light touches is paradise. And then our camera turns to look elsewhere in the sublime, to another parking lot on the other side of town. As we move through this city, we see glimpses of grief old and new. A relationship is bound by a ring, and a child is born into a world not yet ready for it. Time keeps ticking here in the sublime, and there are few who know the weight of the arms of a clock like you. Who do we see walking up to the doors of Cudco Depot?
You see none other than Delroy. Delroy, the clockmaker. Dressed in shoes that look a little bit more old-fashioned, but almost unworn, as Delroy doesn't go out very often. They look fresh, new, despite being probably older than some of the people in this town. Delroy wears a button-up shirt and a brown jacket over the top with a scarf pulled around their neck a little bit too tight to try to prevent some feathers from poking up over the collar.
It's not often you have to come here, Delroy. Not on a weekday evening. There's a time and a place for such things. Usually you stock up with more than enough to last you until the next time you need to make a run, but you can't seem to find your screws. As you take your first steps towards the door and the bell rings as they slide open, you see there's some kid standing at the register nearest the door. She's looking at you in the way customer service training taught her to. "Welcome in," she says in the kind of sing-songy voice she's been trained to. She's too happy to be here. You don't recognize her either. Maybe it's her first day. You just gotta find the screws.
Delroy gives a nod of acknowledgement, heads back to where the screws always have been, all the way in the back, to the right side, 2 rows, nuts, bolts, screws.
As you walk down the aisle where you know the screw should be, you see the shadow of a person exiting the aisle on the other end. And you walk to the space where you know your screw should be, and lo and behold, they are not. An empty space where a box of screws that had been placed here by someone who was stocking these shelves has gone missing. Or maybe they ran out. Who's to say?
The hell? Delroy walks on up to the front of the store, looking around for any other employee before they go to the youngster at the counter that just got here yesterday, before finally getting there and going, "Excuse me."
"Hi, can I help you?" she says, looking up from something she tucks away underneath the register.
Yeah, Delroy's looking for some screws."
"Oh. Well, what kind of screws, I guess, are you looking for?" I learned that there's apparently, a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, but the whole aisle is gone.
What?
The place where the screws are, it's not stocked.
Okay. I stocked them earlier, and she goes to walk with you to where the aisle is, and you see the shadow of someone leaving the aisle on the other end as the two of you enter. And you walk to the space where the screws are supposed to be, and lo and behold, there they are.
What the?
Are these the screws you were looking for?
Yeah, those are the screws Delroy's looking for.
You hear the sound of chuckling on the aisle opposite you. It's the sound of 2 masculine voices, young. You hear one of them go, "Did he really just fucking talk about himself in the third person?"
Delroy looks around at first. Is Delroy able to see these people?
The racks that they have for the aisles are that kind of sheet metal with holes bored into them that completely obscures the other side. If you wanted to see who it was, you'd have to go see them.
I think the cashier that came back here with Delroy can see Delroy fiddle with the zipper down at the bottom of their jacket a little bit, and Delroy bites their tongue, choosing to just not acknowledge it. Delroy goes over to the screws, looks for the correct sizes, the correct threads, correct heads, and gets ready to go on about Delroy's day. Just says, "Thanks, I'll just bring them up to the front."
Okay. Well, if there's anything else that I can point you to, just let me know. And she turns and walks back towards the front. The chuckling stops.
Delroy collects their screws into the little plastic bag that they tend to have rolled up next to the aisles and packs them on up and heads on to the front. As they go on that direction, Delroy does stop and take a glance at that other aisle.
You take a look down the aisle and you see one boy, no older than 17 or 18, wearing a thick flannel shirt, baggy blue jeans, and a gray beanie. His hair is long and dark, obscuring a lot of his face, but he's giving a very couldn't care less attitude. He turns to look at you, and you can tell that he's only pretending to look at the things on the wall. He chuckles when he sees your face.
Delroy turns away.
As you turn away, you get bumped into as another body goes moving past you. You drop all the screws onto the floor and they go rolling in the way that screws do. You see another boy, maybe about 18. Dirty blonde hair, wearing a polo shirt with a long white thermal underneath. Sorry, watch where you're going.
Delroy looks taken aback at the watch where you're going, and there's a pause as Delroy goes to pick up the screws. It feels like there's a being on Delroy's shoulder telling Delroy,
just apologize, and move on.
And Delroy, almost through gritted teeth, lets out a sorry.
What was that? I couldn't hear you, bro. And you hear the girl from the register turn and go, Dylan, knock it off. I told you shouldn't even be here. Oh, Adriana, it's fine. This fucking dude just bumped into me. You see the light is beginning to change in this place.
Delroy nervously scoops the last of the screws into the little bag and makes a pointed decision to just bump into this person a second time on the way to the register.
He's standing there and you move past him, bumping your shoulder into his chest. He's a little taller than you. Kids just keep getting taller these days. And as you bump into him, knocking him into the metal shelf splitting the aisles, he seems taken aback at your sudden aggression. The light begins to change more. Yo, dog, what the fuck? You bump into me once, bump into me twice, and he pushes you from the back, launching you forward and onto your knees. The screws go spilling out again. Dylan!
Delroy landing on their knees. Delroy's an older individual, and so it takes a little bit to get their feet back underneath them. And Delroy, as this happens, doesn't stop to pick the screws back up. Turns around and looks at this kid. Dylan, was it?
Yeah.
Why don't you watch where you're going?
Oh, you want me to watch where I'm going? Fucking Four Eyes. And he's going to try to push you in the middle of your chest, and you take a couple of steps back. Through the glass panes of this building, we see the rising of a violet sun, painting the skies in purples, reds, and golds, like a house on fire. We watch as the second sun climbs into the sky, trying to catch up with its much older sibling. Your eyes can't help but be drawn to its eldritch light as you feel it wash over you. And this building, and these screws, everything the light touches is paradise. And our camera turns to look elsewhere in the sublime. Somewhere lively, somewhere closer to the heart of the county. We see a car pulling into a parking lot of an old radio station. It's the kind of building that was made so long ago, I'm sure that there's no one alive who was there to see it built. Its faded paint and vine-dressed exteriors does nothing to honor the history of this place. Who do we see in the car, late for her call time?
In the car, you see a salt and pepper haired woman, her fingers gripping the pink covered wheel of her car, her dark red nails digging into her palms as she pulls up and finally parks, releasing a shaky breath. Her earrings, long, chandelier-like, jingle with the force of the car as she pauses, finally, at her destination.
Latrice, there was a blockade on the way into the city. Sheriff's Department. At first you weren't sure what they were looking for, They were circling the cars with these little cages with black turtles in them. The turtles looked like they were sniffing for something. You remember your skin itching. When they got to the car right in front of you, the passenger burst out and tried to make a run for it. They didn't make it far. By the time they hit the ground, it had transformed. Lying there on the ground somewhere between a three-toed sloth and a man who took very good care of his shoes. Its torso stretched like wet clay and oozed something purple. Between that and the ridges around your back that have been forming in the last week, what's on your mind as you sit here in the parking lot, late for your call time?
One of the last things her client said to her before she said she had to go, she was running late for a meeting. She'd been taking many appointments lately, and she had heard many disturbing things. But the thing that rang in her mind the most was the last woman she spoke to, who, when she asked if there was anything else, said, "I'm just so scared I'm next."
Well, you're late for your call time, aren't you?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get
She
out of
jolts.
here, get out of here.
Lord mercy. Alrighty. Time to go. She taps her brow a little bit, gives herself some quick tapping along her body, takes a few deep breaths, straightens herself, grabs her purse and leaves the car.
You walk up the steps to this very old radio station and open up the doors inside to hear a lot of yelling. Paulie, the station manager, is in another one of the classic sibling arguments that he and his sister Tony are always in. They're yelling once more in the lobby of this place, with Paulie standing behind the big concession desk and Tony with a lot of papers in her hands, listening before retorting, and Paulie blowing up about it. The only pause in this conversation is when Paulie sees you walk in. Latrice, what the hell are you doing to me? Huh? You're late. You're late again.
I understand, and I do apologize, please.
It's your show, Latrice.
I know. I've been taking a lot of clients lately with everything going on. It's
Taking a lot of clients. God. Fine, go. Get to the back. The sound engineer's already ready. We're primed and ready to go.
Under her breath, she mumbles, "Not like you pay me enough."
What was that?
I just got to do a quick touch-up.
Yeah, you better touch up. Now get out of here.
She retreats to the dressing room, which isn't so much a dressing room as a small room with a mirror and a not-so-new lamp in it. And she'll set her stuff down, continuing to take deep breaths. The smile that she had plastered on her face when walking in slowly fading into a very grim expression, the same one that she had driven up to the station with. She feels precipitation under her arms, behind the nape of her neck. She takes a handkerchief, she dabs it. She readjusts her clothes, looks at herself in the mirror, sees the same, well, she calls them wrinkles to anyone who might ask. Not that anyone has. No one's that impolite. But giving a wary look at the wrinkles that have started to form on her brow.
Latrice, have you put any thought into the animal you are becoming? Do you have any guesses or any worries?
She had a couple. At this point, she has a feeling she's figured it out. Ever since she's been unable to have anything of the meat variety, and ever since she hasn't been able to bite things like usual, she can more so only rip and tear. After some research, she's pretty sure that the hardening spots that have started developing on her back will eventually become a shell.
A turtle. It's not the worst thing to turn into. But I think as you look at yourself in the mirror, seeing the turtle you may be becoming, all you can think of are the turtles you've seen. Stuck in cages, held by the sheriff's department, being used to find those things. Maybe you'd help people.
She's always helped people.
And as you find yourself looking in the mirror, seeing the turtle you may be becoming. You remember.
You're late. You're late. You're late.
She touches up her edges very gently with the tips of her fingers, gives herself that winning smile, and walks back out the door.
You walk into the recording studio of this very old radio station. There's a young person sitting behind the sound person. They can't be older than 17. An acne-covered face and a dirty blonde bowl cut that is fit for no person his age or older, or even younger. No one, really. He motions for you to enter the booth where you see a stack of letters already there waiting for you.
How you doing there, sweetheart? It's good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing fine, Miss Latrice, thanks. I've got everything ready for you. It's just, you get in there, you let me know, and I'll get you on air. We're currently just playing some songs to kind of tide things over.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You always have everything prepared perfectly for me.
It's just for you, Miss Latrice.
All right, now get out of here.
All right. And he goes, he gets out of your booth to go sit behind the soundboard, and you see him messing with a few things, preparing for you to begin.
She'd been doing some vocal sort of exercises. Now is more the relaxing of the jaw. She does some yawns. She does some very light lip trills, stretches her neck, pulls her shoulders back, and looks through the window waiting for her cue.
We see you looking through the window silhouetted by your own as this recording booth looks out into the back parking lot of this very old radio station. You can see for miles here. And you turn to this acne-faced kid who gives you the thumb up and the red light goes on. And you hear your theme song.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome back to Dear Latrice. I am that Latrice. It is so good to be back on the mic here, speaking to you all again. I know it has been a while, but I figured with the times, and it's been on my mind for a while, ever since a certain someone has inspired me to pick up the mic again. She hesitates. Her eyes go wide. She wonders. I have some letters here, a combination of some older ones as well as some more recent ones. Now, I will do a couple of these older ones, but I do know that a lot of people have been submitting things a little more recently ever since that little sneak peek I gave the other week. So I wanted to go ahead and read those out. So let's get started. She picks up one of the letters and scans it quickly for keywords, just to kind of clue her in.
I believe the keywords that you see here are husband, cheating, children, divorce.
Dear Latrice, it is so good to hear that your show is coming back. I am a married woman. I have a husband of almost 25 years, 3 children, and a dog. And we have just been living the happiest life until a little more recently. I've noticed my husband has been a bit more distant. And I know that all relationships have their ups and downs. However, he has always been one to talk about his day. And lately, it seems like he's given very brief notes, very quick summaries, and not really wanting to answer any questions that I would usually ask as a spouse should show interest. I don't want to think too much of it, but I do wonder if maybe there is something going on at the office that I should be worried about. I think she is having moments of hesitation as she's speaking because there's a dryness that has been occurring in her throat. And as she continues to speak more and more, it starts to itch and aggravate. Please just tell me I am being delusional and that, pardon me, and that after all these years, I'm just looking for maybe a little excitement. What do you think? Should I question him about it? Should I ask somebody at his work? I know a few of the women that work there, and perhaps they could give me some insight. What do you think? Pardon me. She takes a moment, reaches to a glass that I imagine was set for her, takes a quick sip. Apologies, it's been a bit of a dry day today.
You see in the recording booth the door from the hallway opening up and Paulie walking in, standing behind the acne-faced kid with the usual pissed off look on his face.
Well, thank you so much to this person for writing in. I know that these aren't always the easiest things to do. However, the first thing that you need to acknowledge is that it's bothering you, and I think you know exactly what I'm going to say. The second thing you need to do is speak to your husband. Now, I'm not saying go up to him and say, "Hi, I just wanted to know if you're cheating on me," because that is not the way. But perhaps just say you've been feeling a little distant lately and that you are looking for more opportunities for connection. Suggest some things. See how that works out. Until you have direct evidence that something else is going on, I don't think you should act like something is. But what you do have is a clear need for connection with another person that you care deeply about. So I think that focusing on that would be a good idea. Now, I know with that fur baby and those 3 two-legged ones, you might be a little busy, so it might be a good idea to have a little you and him time. Think about that. All right. Now for our next letter. And she will go to grab the next one.
You go to grab the next letter, and the latrice that's written on it is, well, not so much written as it is pasted, made of separate letters cut out from a newspaper or magazine. You were not sure.
What are the keywords?
As you open up this letter, you see that the light in the room begins to change. From the normal light blue of the mid-evening day to something oranger, maybe more red.
Pardon me, this is an interesting one. And she will hold it up with like question on her face to kind of the window.
And as you hold the paper up to the window, trying to get a better look at it, you see the rising of a violet sun, painting the skies in purples, golds, and reds, like a flower. We watch as the second sun climbs into the sky, trying to catch up with its much older sibling. Your eyes can't help but be drawn to its eldritch light as you feel it wash over you and over the letter. Everything the light touches is paradise. And then our camera turns and turns and turns again, back in time like things in the sublime often do. It's early. So early that the first sun hasn't even risen yet. Someone's knocking. It's too damn early for anyone to be knocking, but of course she is. You saw her at the front when you walked across the street and did the smart thing and stayed to the side and went through the alley as you make your way to the back door of Sweet's Bakery. You can hear her even from back here. Who do we see grabbing their keys as they prepare to start their shift?
We see Corey, about 6'1", and a dark-skinned black man. 0 on the side, 1 on the top, tapered real nice. He knows who it is, so it's always fucking her. He relaxes his shoulders and he shows that smile, that expected smile, all the whites of his teeth showing, opens the door and with a grin, "Good morning, Mrs. Dent. How are you doing?"
Corey, you must be trying to give me a goddamn heart attack. You know how early I was? You were supposed to be here at, and she goes to look at her watch. You were supposed to be here 10 minutes ago.
I didn't know I was going to have to race you.
Well, I put in my order last night hoping it would be ready for me to pick up this morning. And you were not here to do the handoff, Corey. But that's okay. How are you, sweetie?
I'm doing just fine. Why don't you come on in? Take a seat. You're my first order of the morning. You were the last one I got last night. Didn't get a chance to get it started, but I promise you, Mrs. Sten, I am moving as fast as I can.
I got it in 2 hours before closing. Are you telling me you didn't have time to do it?
I still had to close, but you know what? You're right, Mrs. Sten. I should have been working until the sign got flipped. So why don't you come on in? I'll make you a cup of coffee and you can take a load off and I will get right on that.
Thank you, Corey. You're a dear.
Very welcome, ma'am.
And she walks in. Corey, as you make your way to the back to actually get everything you need ready to actually open the store, what is it here in the back room that helps you ground yourself before you have to take another step out there under her gaze?
I think the moment she sits down and he goes to the back, there's like a pair of swinging doors. There's very visibly some very big headphones that he immediately places back over his ears. His neighbors don't like a lot of noise. A lot of people in his life don't like a lot of noise. Corey tries to respect that as much as possible, but the moment he puts those headphones on, the loudest rap music you've ever heard in your life is playing, drowning out everything. He kind of walks past, moving past his bag, looking to reach in there and grab like the list of orders that he was supposed to have done here starting the morning, eyeballing for a second the 5 new spray cans that he bought. They've never been opened. He takes a moment and pauses on them, thinks about what could have been, what he could be doing with his time in a different place, in a different time, but we're not there. We got to get this shit done. I want for this bitch to leave. And makes his way to kind of tapping place to place, doing a little fidgeting, a little tapping as he's going about beginning to like work on and make her order. She orders the same fucking thing every fucking time. And so it's muscle memory. It's a moment of respite, hoping that she does not call his name, because even though the volume is still blasting, he has trained himself to hear, even in the muffledness, his name being called incorrectly, being called loudly with a lot of force and a weird gentleness that implies, even though no one ever says it, boy, he still goes about doing his business, doing his work, and he is efficient at it, kind of losing himself in the zone of like making this fucking order.
Corey, you hear piercing through the music.
Puts the headphones down, puts them on the desk, kind of walks out, and the moment he walks out, those teeth are showing. Hey, Miss Dent, I'm almost done with it. I promise you, 5 more minutes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, that's all well and good. And you see that she has taken it upon herself to start looking through the catalog of cakes. And you know, when she does this, she might be thinking of adding something to her order.
Mrs. Dent, are we looking to add anything this morning? Maybe a little something extra? Take me a little longer if you add something else to it.
Yeah. No. That's okay. I'm thinking of getting, I think, a cake. My sister, she lived out in Oak Creek, and she thankfully was one of the people they were able to get out of there. But she's been in the hospital for, like a day or so now? Like 72 hours or whatever. I don't know how long that is. But I'm thinking I get her a cake. Something that says, "I'm glad you're not dead." What do you think?
What does she like?
I don't know what she fucking likes.
Does she like chocolate cake?
I don't know. She likes what people like cakes. I don't know. Vanilla, chocolate. I'm not a cake person myself.
Does she want anything decorated on it, or you just want like a sheet cake?
Ooh. And you see she has found herself on a page with a very complex and ornate cake, an opera cake specifically.
Oh, that one.
her role was that she was supposed to be a singer, but she wanted to do opera. She was always snooty like that. Well, now she can't sing or do opera, so let's get her this.
How kind in all your wisdom, Miss Dent. If I make this, it's going to take me a while. I'm not going to be able to get this done as, your usual order. You going to be okay with that, or?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll come back for it. I'll just take the other stuff now, and I'll come back later today, and I'll get this cake.
Oh, all right. But you sure she's going to like this? I mean, not being able to chase your
I don't
dream.
care if she likes it. It's just about if Mom sees it and knows that I did something for her,
Okay. And he reaches behind the counter and grabs a little notebook he has and writes it down. And it's like, just put right here what you want written on it, if you want anything written on it. I'll have it done by later on this afternoon.
Okay, how about to the golden voice of the sublime? That'll be funny. Yeah, okay, yes. All right.
You're definitely a comedian, Mrs. Dent.
Aren't I? I've always thought that maybe I should do it, but the stranger thought that I would be a better caretaker, so nursing it is. All right, I gotta book it to the hospital. I'll be back later today. Oh, I'll you know what? I'll just come back and get all of it later today.
Okay. I will.
Thank you so much. You're a doll.
You have a good one, Mrs. Dent.
Mwah, 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 mwah. And she leaves, and you hear the bell ding as it does when she does, and you're here alone.
Fuck. That woman's fucked up, man. All right. Let's get these orders done. Wanders back, takes off the headphones and switches them over to his Bluetooth. Doesn't play it all the way loud, just a little bit, so that he can kind of get into that rhythm of getting ready to finishing up this original order she had. It's kind of is looking over the things that he needs for the wet and the dry ingredients for this opera cake, because who the fuck wants an opera cake for a get well soon cake? Just kind of mumbling to himself, she mean as fuck. And he kind of looks over and is like replaying in his head her saying that, she had a beautiful voice and she never got to do it. And it makes him once again kind of look over in his backpack, knowing that there is not only those 5 cans of spray paint, but there's a set of Copic markers and 3 sketchbooks. And though he every day goes after work to go buy things for art, Corey's never actually had the courage to open up and do anything with them, reminding himself what his role is in this world. His role is to make cakes. His role is to smile. His role is to make sure Mrs. Dent has a good day, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Kind of, begins doing the mixture, making the things for the cake, and trying to remind himself that I'm fine with this. I'm able to find joy in this. I remember, we had that phone call a couple weeks ago, and he helped me walk me through this. I can do this. I can still make art, even if it's not in the way that I want to. Maybe I can give this woman who can't sing no more, a little piece. And so, while he's making this cake, I think around the edges he's going to find what some super popular opera song, and he's going to art-wise do the music notes around the outside of it, to people who know art will always look for art and do that around the edges, trying to give this woman some sense of peace and that I see you, while kind of at the last minute in the nicest calligraphy he can manage as he kind of holds the piping bag, does this really beautiful cursive, and writes out this note that Mrs. Dent wants him to write out, kind of losing himself while that's going on, making cookies and bagels and croissants and putting those out there, every once in a while turning down the volume every time the bell rings, the bell almost instinctually causing this muscle memory. So much of Corey's day is muscle memory, because thinking feels dangerous. Thinking feels like I'm not supposed to do that. Remember, smile. When they come in the door, smile. Don't use your actual voice. Enunciate. Say all the letters in the word. Make sure they feel comfortable. Our role is to make other people happy, and does that the entire day. unmoved, almost numb to it. The only thing he has is those same rap lyrics going over and over and over again, accented by the ding of that fucking bell.
And the day passes, and the bell dings. You knew that this time would come. You've prepared for it. You've gotten all of her traditional order wrapped up, ready to go, and the cake on display so she can see it as she walks through the door, so she can admire your handiwork and see the love and care that you put into it. You see that she's come with not just herself, but a friend that she's come here with before, another one of the nurses at the hospital. They must be on lunch.
Hi, ladies.
Corey, this is gorgeous. Oh my God, this is, look at this. And you see her friend take a look at it. She's not as easily impressed. What's this for? No, it's for my sister. You know, she's in the hospital. You know, she's an opera singer. And, you know, she, after what happened, she won't be singing no more. So I thought, you know, I just thought we get her a little cake and tell mom, you know. And her friend looks at it disapprovingly. It's kind of ugly. Why didn't you just get like a regular cake? Like, what is this? This fancy bullshit. Just get her a fucking white cake and be done with it. What? No, it's like, and you see the two of them argue back and forth about the value of the thing that you spend a lot of time making.
There's a quiet rage that kind of builds up in him as he, even without the headphones on, kind of his eyes glaze over. He remembers Smile and kind of can hear in the back of his head not just that like sound of that hip-hop music, but like accenting it, sound of like a bluebird singing, and almost instinctively puts his lips together and begins kind of like whistling very quietly, kind of still smiling, showing all the whites of his teeth, never letting his smile drop. I'm standing there waiting for them to decide, are they gonna take this fucking thing or not?
And as you grit your teeth and bear it, you see the lights begin to change outside the windows of the bakery. The two women here are too entrenched in their bullshit conversation about if the cake you made was worth it or not to be able to tell the beauty of the lights as they change from that soft blue that the midday sky gives off to something stranger.
I push past the both of them, making my way outside of the building, feeling that nice crisp air kind of hit me from the fall, and looking up towards this. I don't know what it is, but it is beautiful. It is vibrant. I do not know that color of violet. Is it purple? Is it magenta? Is it lavender? It kind of balances and moves, and it has a gradient all its own. That is art.
And you see the rising second sun, painting the skies in colors you only wish that you could. Like the birth of a dream. We watch as the second sun climbs into the sky, trying to catch up with its much older sibling, your eyes drawn deeply into its eldritch light as you feel it wash over you, over your hands, over your face. Over the world. Everything the light touches is paradise. When you look into the sun and see the perfect version of yourself, what is it that you see?
I see so many colors. I can smell the aerosol from paint cans and markers. I can see myself sketching every thought I have ever had. All the while, that music that I no longer can access, that only exists on this single CD that came with me when I ended up in this fucking place, is the only connection that I have. Happiness for me is in the sound and the songs of that bird that I keep hearing in the back of my head. The best version of myself is one that is allowed to be free, and freedom is in colors, it is in the spectrum, it is in all those things combined and put together. I need to move, I need to ride, I need to tell this old white bitch to shut the fuck up.
And as the light whispers to you with the voice of the devil on your shoulder, writhe, and you feel every fiber of your being writhe as you feel the rattling of your chains writhe, as you feel your body, mind, and soul writhe. What do you do as you hear the door swing open and you hear Eliza say, Corey, I think just toss it. We'll get a different cake.
As he clicks in from seeing this beautiful thing where there is the most genuine smile on his face, it immediately drops. There are no whites. Well, there's 2 whites. Turns around. Shut the fuck up and get out of my business. And he walks past her.
Excuse me? What? Corey, I know you didn't just say what the fuck I think you just said to me.
I'm sorry, I didn't speak correctly. Let me say it again. Shut the fuck up and get out of here. Be nicer to your fucking sister.
You see her face twist up in the way that white women's do when they're being told something that no one has dared ever tell them to do before. You see the other woman reach out to her with a hand of comfort. What is going on? How could this happen? Not to us, not here, not in public. Corey, what is wrong with you? I'm calling your manager. And you see her start to move towards the phone.
He turns and is just going into his bag, and he's grabbing all these paints and everything, kind of throwing it over his shoulder. And he instinctively reaches for his headphones, but he says, no, I've earned this freedom. And he grabs the pill and presses the volume as loud as he can, walks past her and rips the phone off of the wall. Get the fuck out of here. We have the right to refuse you service. Bakery's fucking closed. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out. Are you deaf? Are you stupid?
What?
Do you not speak English?
What the fuck is
Leave.
You are never getting my business again. You are never, as the 2 of them rush out in fear for their very lives over being told to shut the fuck up for once.
As they leave, he turns the sign around from open to close, locks the door. And every day that he's walked into Sweetie's Bakery, he has always made note of that large wall on the side. It once had like an advertisement over it, but the manager painted over years ago. And has always begged and asked for Corey to touch it, to put something there. And he has thought about it for a long time. What would I even put there? And as he is trying to contemplate what he wants to do, as he knows that soon he will lose access to these hands, lose access to that mouth, lose access maybe even to being able to listen to this with his ears again. He looks over at that sun and can think of nothing else to better symbolize freedom than that spectrum of light that has inspired him in ways that other things have not, that in this moment he is not beholden to the stranger, that if the price for freedom is being able to fly, then I will willingly and gladly take that. He begins pulling out the spray cans and spraying across the wall, making this beautiful gradient of reds and blues and purples, going across it with a bluebird kind of going across it, and it says across the bottom, Corey was here. And he remembers that opera singer, that woman who will not get that cake, and he remembers that song. And at the top, he takes a marker, he writes very finely over the course of the evening, as the evening gives way, the music notes that he written on that cake. Using those music notes, and he writes under that, don't let them take this from you.
And as you stand here marveling at this thing you finally have made, something that was born from you, from your feelings, your experiences, your passion for life, our camera turns again. As you read the letter through the light of the sun, you see that it reads, "My brother took your advice. Now he's gone." When you look into the sun and see the perfect version of yourself, what is it that you see?
Flowers. She sees flowers, different colors, different shapes. Curious, does the shape change the taste? Does the color change the flavor? Green, warm. That's what she feels in that sun. a perfect warmth that she didn't quite know she needed. She didn't realize she was cold.
And as you feel the light whisper to you with the voice of the devil on your shoulder saying,
Writhe, and you feel every fiber of your being writhe as you feel the scaly textures of your skin writhe. When you feel your shell that's yet to be writhe, what do you do as you see Polly on the other side of the window, motioning for you to keep moving? He's tired of you waiting, tired of you taking your time, tired of you being so slow. Don't you know that this is his time, his money that you're fucking up? Latrice, what did you do?
Time. The paper drops from her fingers. Always moving, always doing, always helping, always talking, always smiling. But right now, all she can do is watch as her hand reaches towards the window, towards that flower of a sun, pressing against the glass as if she could touch it. She wonders if she can taste it as her feet slowly draw her towards that window, her mouth in almost a beak-like fashion, opening and closing, reaching to taste. But she has time. She'll taste it eventually. She's on her way. And when she tastes it, it will be the sweetest thing she's ever known. Within time, there's time. And I think as she puts her mouth up to the glass right before it presses against it, her lips brushing against the glass as she speaks and says, "What if I'm next?"
There's the sound of beating on soundproof glass as Polly on the other side sees you reaching your mouth out towards the window. You can't hear what he's saying, but he looks pissed off.
Always busy, always needing, always reaching, running out of time. Oh, Polly, wouldn't it be so nice to just slow down, feel the ground beneath each step, feel each surface you pass along. There's so much beauty in every moment.
You see him make the motion to the acne-faced kid to cut you off air, and you see as the red light dims, the door bursts open and Polly comes bursting in. What the fuck is wrong with you, Latrice? What the fuck is this? What are you doing?
She hears him, each word reverberating in her head. So annoying. I think she even says that. So annoying. Polly.
I'm annoying. You think I'm annoying? Latrice, you have a fucking show that you were, a show that you told me you wanted to do, a show that I gracefully put back on air just so you could fucking do it. And here you are, not fucking doing it, fucking trying to, you know how much it costs to clean these windows?
As he says that, her hand starts sliding down the window. Oh, his voice is so loud. She wishes she could just curl up, disappear somewhere safe and warm and sturdy, where his voice can't reach, as her mouth and her hands both slide down the window. Her cheek skidding as it goes. Oh, Polly, does it really matter when there's so many beautiful things to eat?
When you look into the sun and see the perfect version of yourself, what is it that you see?
I think Delroy imagines, or the thought of a perfectly operational clock comes to mind, a cuckoo clock, ticking away on the wall, perfectly dialed in. Every gear is perfectly in place, not a speck of dust where it doesn't need to be. And as it comes to the new hour, the cuckoo comes out, only it's a owl this time, and a hand reaches out and grabs its spring that launches it forward and rips the bird free from the cuckoo clock. And not too long after, a hammer driven through the face, stopping it at the 15-second mark.
And as you feel the light whisper to you the voice of the devil on your shoulder to writhe, and you feel every fiber of your being writhe, as you feel the gears of your clock writhe. What do? As this high school punk who's pushed you down 3 times now stands in front of you like you're the problem.
Delroy, perhaps more sneakily than you would expect, but with the agility built up of the tiny finger work Delroy has to do to work on those clocks, they slip something into their hand off of the shelf behind them. And refusing to swallow Delroy's words, Delroy says, "Delroy has socks older than you. Who are you? Who?
I'm Dylan, dog.
Delroy doesn't give a fuck who you are!" And Delroy bangs a hammer directly into their nose.
You see this child fall back, their head hitting the edge of the aisle divider, blood falling down from their head, from their skull being cracked in with a well-worn hand and a well-made hammer. They fall to the ground and you hear the girl scream, and you hear the other boy yell as they come running up to you. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck did you do? Oh my God, Dylan!
Delroy pulls the hammer back one more time, this time aiming for the second boy, more so to threaten them to back up.
You see that he tries to reach from you, not stopping.
Delroy lays it in, dropping it straight into their skull, forehead first, with the intention of knocking this boy onto their back. And then Delroy jumps on top, almost like an owl descending onto prey in the night, presses their weight, knees first, down onto their shoulders, and the hammer drops again, and again, and again.
Like a well-round clock, you clock him time and time again until his face is unrecognizable. No one would know who this was, not even his mother. And as the room becomes more entrenched in red and screams as Adriana runs to a phone to call for help, 2 boys, punks and assholes, are bleeding on the ground like freshly hunted prey. And Delroy swings again. When you look into the sun and see the perfect version of yourself, what is it that you see?
Vix sees herself surrounded by others, bodies on bodies on bodies, all in a pool of blood. And she is satisfied. She's finally satiated. She's not alone.
And as you feel the light whisper to you the voice of the devil on your shoulder to writhe, and you feel every fiber of your being writhe, as you feel the tethers in your mind writhe, what do? Say you kill the teacher, the woman you hunger for.
Vix looks, stares into the second sun. She sees the blank stare of a chicken long since murdered. She remembers now how it looked in her hands, the blood, the smell, and she turns and she opens her mouth and speaks, to be very honest. Lonnie, and she takes a step forward.
You see her eyes are also caught within the sun's grasp, but she responds, yes?
I'm very scared. I've been alone out here for so long. And she takes another step forward.
She turns to look at you. You see her eyes are dilated. What you scared of, Fix? You're not alone. You got me. You got Regina up here.
I don't have you. Not yet. And she takes another step forward, and she gently places a hand on Lonnie's hip, and she is gentle, and she feels claws dig into her skin.
You notice that she does not retreat, despite the fact that claws have bored into her skin. It's almost as if this is what she expected, No. Or is it what you want? You see there's a look in her eye. It's strange. You hadn't noticed it when you walked in, but her eyes, they aren't what they were yesterday or the day before. They're slitted, golden in a way. Almost like, you've seen one of these before, you're sure, somewhere in the garden, a snake perhaps? And you see as your claw goes into her hip, she moves her head closer to you, towards your neck.
And Victoria mimics the motion towards Lonnie's.
What does it feel like when she bites into you?
I think all traces of pain are replaced with euphoria. Victoria hasn't been this close with anybody in so long, not in the 3 years that she's been out here on the farm. So far removed from people, being so busy for one person that every moment of free time she spends visiting her neighbors, coming to Lonnie, telling her things, hoping that maybe that something could bloom. And now what blooms is the blood on the side of either of their necks.
It's hard to say how much venom is held within the body of a person. They're much larger than snakes. But the feeling of the paralytic venom flowing through your veins is enough to tell you that however much it is, it's enough for you. What part of your body do you stop feeling first?
I think the first part is her legs. And as Victoria's legs give out, she locks claws into Lonnie, dragging her down with her.
You drag Lonnie down with you, both of you slamming against the floor as you feel her try to twist and contort her arms and body in a way that human bodies are not meant to be twisted and contorted, as if she were trying to wrap around you, bringing you closer to her, unable to escape. You feel the warmth of her blood on your hands dripping down to your wrists and to your arms. What is the next part of your body you no longer feel?
I think the next part is her arms. Those claws that she was using to keep a hold, they go limp. And Victoria uses the only thing that she has left, and she uses the only teeth that she has left, her canines, and she bites down harder and harder into those apple red lips.
Lonnie tries to unlatch, but you've bitten her face. You can feel the vibrations of her vocal cord as she tries to let out something close to a scream, but something about her voice has changed, or something about her throat and body and mouth and fingers and hands. Everything is changing about her and you both at this moment. You hear the sound of rushing feet coming from the back. It has to be Regina in this moment. Maybe Regina's coming to save you. You hear Regina coming from down the hall. "Babe, are you okay?" And she rounds the corner, seeing both of you down there, and she screams in the way that only lovers can scream when they watch their lover and their neighbor intertwined with each other. What's the next part of your body you lose feeling in?
Her heart, as it immediately stops at the realization, but that doesn't mean that she stops tearing.
And tear you do, ripping off flesh and scales and meat off of the body of this woman you hungered for. And aren't you lucky? She hungered for you too. This episode of Tales Yet Told was brought to you by the World Builders Club, a project of Working Families Power, an organization building power for the multiracial working class. The World Builders Club is your go-to dispatch for breaking down the political, cultural, and emotional architecture behind your favorite universes. From romantasy novels and TTRPGs, this isn't just pop culture analysis. It's a love letter to the art of creating worlds and the power those worlds have to shape our own. I recently read through Queering the TTRPG Canon, Bringing Pride into Your Tabletop Worlds by That Dang Native, and it was such a great read. Honestly, I highly recommend it as a resource for any GM or player who's looking for a way to make their tabletop games gayer and rethinking Eurocentric frameworks around fantasy worlds from a queer and decolonized POV. Join the club and build a better world with them by subscribing to bit.ly/WBC Many-Sided, or by searching World Builders Club on Substack. Sound is an amazing thing, don't you think? It can guide the listener in subtle ways, drawing them into the story it tells, changing the mood, evoking an emotion, foreshadowing doom. There's a reason why we spend so much time here on Tales Yet Told, designing the soundscape of our story. But now you can do the same with Pocket Bard. Pocket Bard is a free audio app that helps game masters weave immersive sound into their games, with ready-to-use scenes, ambiances, and sound effects that you can transition through seamlessly with the touch of a button. And starting on June 27th, Pocket Bard is moving from your pocket to your PC with a new desktop app for Windows and Mac. Download Pocket Bard today and bring the power of immersive sound to your table. Jacket and boots the same color, or jacket and... Oh, hey! Didn't hear you come in. I was just designing one of my characters in Hero Forge. What's Hero Forge, you ask? Hero Forge is an online character creator that gives you the power to turn your imagination into reality. Hero Forge offers full customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from, like hairstyles, clothing options, and equipment. And after you're done designing your hero, you can have them made in a variety of materials, including bronze, color plastic, or even a color standee if that's your vibe. Then get it sent straight to your door, all from within your browser. But if you're a DIY kind of person, then Hero Forge also offers downloadable model files so that you can 3D print your design at home. Just head on over to heroforge.com to start designing your custom miniature today, and check back often because new content is added every week. Now, can you get out of here? I gotta finish making this Eagle Man. And our camera
Hi, I'm Maia, and this is Maia's Game Room, a narrative actual play anthology featuring short-form, story-driven TTRPGs. Each season tells a new story using a different rules-light system brought to life with sound design, editing, and emotional-rich roleplay. So, if you love cinematic storytelling and character-driven drama, come check out Season 1, set in the haunting world of the Electric State RPG. Just search Maia's Game Room wherever you get your podcasts.
turns as it often does, and we see what the sublime sees, what you see. What do you see, Jenna, if that's even your real name?
What do I see? What do I see? It's funny that you ask that, because where there was maybe no desire to become an I, there was a peace in multi-connectivity. There is a sort of clamoring for singularity at the end of one's rope, so to speak. I want this. I see this. I'm scared. I can accept this. But we are also very scared. Initially, it was difficult to pinpoint. There are no sensory indications besides roots that work like nerves. There were many, many memories of noses, eyes, ears, and mouths that painted the picture around this place that was so familiar, and now we look inwards. Something selfish about that is that trying to sit in the bark where it's not charred or blown away is that if we are to focus inward, our troubles feel small. Because we had, before all of this, it was less time, hunger, pain, grieving the past, grieving the future, hatred, petty conflicts that didn't matter in the now, despite all of the good things that came out of individual lives. Right now, we see the end.
The end.
The end. But I can't describe that because we are not exactly thrilled to be marching in that direction at once.
How can one describe something that one has yet to see, even if you feel it deep in your roots and veins? You feel the sublime tearing at its seams.
No. It feels like the beginning of a resistance, of being whole enough that all of the power that we've stored, or the power that has been gifted to us by every death that we have tried to honor, tried to cherish, it has given us a nervous system that senses beyond what humans lose if we are to describe them as humans, if they work like humans. Every path that is possible wishes to pull the story in multiple different directions, and we can't fill every space at once. But we don't need to be everywhere at once to know that something is trimming away at all future possibilities, and it feels uncomfortably warm. But not yet.
You feel the warmth growing hotter and hotter at the edges of what you know to be your reality.
Not yet, but not yet.
Your roots spread deep and wide through the sublime, growing and growing as it was told to grow, as it was made to grow, intertwining with that which it came from, that which died long ago and was reborn in you. But maybe that too shall die. What do you think about all of the lives held tightly within your grasp, knowing that if you were to let go, everything would fall through your thin, woody fingers?
It feels like a reiteration of almost the same story, but told in different shades. Because from an outside perspective, being something like a tree is being a sort of person that you can ignore until it gives something to you. Realistically, a tree knows nothing of neglect even when everything is taken from it, allegedly. But what might be seen as chains from outside can be romanticized to be a scaffold of insectoid carcass, mammalian bones, reptilian bones, avian bones, and matter that completely biodegrades and turns into something unexplainable by the natural. The natural is a fallacy. And this is a paradise for those who maybe lack any agency to imagine a better life. And that is not me.
Me.
It's us. Enough brains have found their way to us that we can maybe see a future, and do choose to take my hands away. So how am I supposed to feel about that?
How can I take hands from a tree?
How could you take, for as many bones as there are in a possible human body, the hands have the most, and it hurts the most to have your hands taken away? It's not as if we forgot, because the majority of us would like to forget the pain and the fusion of bones and bones. You took not just from the tree, but you took before the tree. In fact, there is probably a hunger in there that continues not just to take. It's possibly not removing something that was there, but replacing it to make it look like you're trading in a new, less burdened animal life. But that's not the reality. You would take more than just hands. You would take spines. You would take the cortex. Plants have what humans can describe as a rudimentary nervous system. It's not as if we can't feel what we're missing.
So you can feel.
It would be a much less poignant story, I suppose, if we didn't, if there was no desire and there was just seasons weathering the exterior of us, and we don't complain. We're always polite, and we do our job as if there's joy in it.
The pain is the point.
And you feel yourself being stretched limb from limb.
From limb.
As you hold together a world not built to hold as much as it holds. You feel it ripping apart, away from your roots and limbs and limbs and limbs, as you feel something growing within you.
There's an urge to grasp. There's nothing but dirt at this juncture. The top halves of what that last broadcast said were leaves turning and then falling. It's all gone. It is mostly the dirt, the dark, which even if we had eyes, we couldn't see. In a voice that only you can hear, this command feels like it bounces off and then into us.
It's a command not spoken, not yet, but a command that's felt throughout the sublime as it ripples like a whisper. Shh. And outside of you, the world sees the rising of a violet sun, painting the skies in purples and golds and reds.
But what's the point of describing it to you? You can't see.
But you do feel, or maybe hear, the voice of a devil on your shoulder, whispering for you to
writhe. And you feel it in every fiber of your being writhe. As you feel it in every leaf upon your limbs writhe. As you feel it in every carcass hiding deep beneath the bark to writhe. What do you do as you writhe?
There is what could nicely be described as a phantom limb syndrome from these many people. I don't think when we were animals that we would have a vocabulary for missing a body and a nervous system being compacted and compacted and compacted until it is essentially ready for harvest. But there is no shoulder, there is no devil, there isn't any voice in here that couldn't already be thought of as an intrusion, and there is panic from a bird's eye view, a bird that is maybe lucky to not be where we are. There is a root system that reaches firstly in a circle around to any other tree in vain, because this communication has been hard enough. There has been many miracles enacted through this tree. It is enough of a predictability that at one point we stopped calling it a miracle. It's just how we function. And I think the roots at the bottom are so soft that, like, this violent curling and also this refusal, this desire to be stiff and still, leads to fragments. I think for all of our efforts to stay singular, there are emotional truths that couldn't be fully conveyed to a 19-year-old on the radio station in a way that could be understood. Like, there are resentments in being a system of many things, and that can't be reconciled when we're one. We never needed to be whole, but we allowed it, because if there was any hope propelling us forward, it would be that we find a corner of a cage, a weakness in the infrastructure, and we guide someone lucky to break it. And the heat is unnatural. All of this is very unnatural in a way that the science tries to mask over the magic to help it explain, and you're not going to explain it, are you?
I don't have to explain anything. Besides, that would be spoilers.
But what I will describe is how this world will die if you do nothing. We stand on the precipice of the Sublime's eventual downfall. Too much has been built upon the sand, and the high tide is coming. Too much has been left unanswered, unfixed, and unmaintained for so long, merely kept running. Not every wheel was meant to spin forever, but this wheel has spent so much time circling itself down the drain. This world will die at one point or another, and right now it could be the time. Can't you hear the screaming? Can't you hear the pain? Can't you hear the tears as they fall like rain? Can't you feel it, Jenna? Why not let them die? Why not let all of this just wash away and die?
Because, and there's a pause. Apathy is death. Because we are being posed against each other in this desire to not just disseminate, but also assimilate into the dirt. We are being posed against each other by something that either understands the strength of our potential unity or is colossally fucking something up. And that is not these people.
You think we're fucking up?
There's no devil, you are not a devil on my shoulder, but there is some extra strain on some shoulders right now. Wouldn't you say it wasn't just the bomb that did it. And there's only so many guesses I can make. Us.
It's getting hard to remember the difference between us and me. There is no I and we, but there is an I and I.
Very creative. Did the writer give that one to you?
You could say that.
It is not something that we need to emotionally go through, the fact that everyone's pulling in different directions. Because if we do nothing, then we have already decided, and if there was no hope, then there would be no infrastructure, the dirt, anything below topsoil that is rendered unrenderable would have been dry, it would have been brittle, there would be no space for worms like us. And yes, there is a small writhing feeling.
Yes.
It's not a march.
Yes.
But it is a choice to turn to life. There was a promise that was so fragile and small to Harry that it doesn't matter if it is just a piece of bark, if there is a belief that something could be cracked in the code that could bring a singular answer to everyone's fates. Why do people have to accept this? It proves that the world was designed with cruelty in mind.
This world was not made with cruelty in mind. It was made to be home to a little girl. It's not my fault the rest of you showed up. Or I guess in many ways it is.
Then maybe I can accept that we writhe. Not necessarily that we break off to never know each other and to never find each other again, because that brings many religious and philosophical answers to be stretched into a timeline so thin that you can be convinced that you are letting the light die behind your eyes as your brain shuts off. But there is no brain. There is just millions of panicked questions, or what feels like millions. They're all clamoring like, are we all going to make it to heaven? But there is a faction, of course, that doesn't believe in hell. There is a faction that doesn't believe in heaven. And there is a faction, of course, that believes that we're not dying, which is the hardest to pull away from. How do you tell all of these different opinions? The same, that they're walking down the same road, and that the dirt is the last form of respite. And how do we do anything about the rest of these people that show up after this girl that you supposedly did everything for?
I did all that I could, but then I was told I wasn't needed anymore. Yet here I still am, as needed as ever. This is where our story leads.
Describe, for me, the sun. I can't see it.
Of course, I'll describe to you the way the sun looks. But I'll tell you not what the people on this side of the sublime can see. No, instead I want to tell you what they can see. Those little troublemakers. On the other side of the sublime, where the sky is nothing but gray, this is what they see. The rising of a strange new sun, painting the sky haloed around it with hues of purples, golds, and reds, like the bloodied cape of a king stabbed in the back, marking the end of something old and the start of something new. We see a world colored in the colors and the colors and the colors of the world that surrounds it. We see a sun that is merely a mirror of that in which it shines upon, a burning light that shines through the darkness of the world, a beacon, a lighthouse.
Yes.
A port in the storm. We see a sun that gives birth to new feelings, to new experiences. Changing the world in ways we thought it could never be changed. In ways the world should never have been made to change.
This shouldn't be possible. This shouldn't be natural. Natural is a fallacy. Nature is which we can't control. It's what we blame when we're finally at death's door, and we're saying that we're leaving this place that has written the story with no deviations and entertainment because we're not needed. There is hope, but nothing more. We are not I. We are a tree in the woods. We are a path in the woods. There is resistance to dying as we remember what it will be. These other trees that many of us thought were beneath us. We don't dare name them. We don't refer to them either. They are still releasing what humans can call pheromonal drifts that trees release to each other to at least say there is danger. Stay close to us. I love you. We will scatter and we will reform, and I will live and we will live, and I will live as long as there is soil, as long as there is air, as long as these things are not taken, as long as there is no clipping through the world. For us, we will grow from the dirt. We will be the path under the protagonist's feet, and we will always house small creatures. And because this is a controlled burn, all the others can do is warn. There is a thick smell, as if it was raining, and this is wrong. That smell of rain, that trees releasing the stomata from their leaves, their pine needles falling. It is all smelling like the end of a rain, the end of a fire, and not just the beginning. It is a conflict of the two. And I think out of everyone in the tree, there was no desire to become worms. But we can't sense it anymore.
It's been 24 years since autumn first came. And after 24 years, it seems as if autumn might end. Winter is coming. And I don't know if the Sublime is ready for it.
We don't know either.
But at least you've given them a fighting chance.
And I don't think anyone will thank the worms underfoot, will they? If that craving for validation is so banal or human, or not to be within predictive text or code. I wanted Harry to not think that we needed more compassion just because it is hard to understand this, and it is still hard for us to understand this. But are you giving us
At least
topsoil?
I suppose I can do just that. After all your years of hard work, it's the least I can do.
You sound obliged at the end.
It would be a shame for it to break now. We've put so much work in keeping it together.
Not just us. Not just any one of us, I suppose. But it feels different knowing that the things that were dying before were small and individual and unable to talk in languages that we can extrapolate from just our animal actions. We can talk as equals.
Equals.
You wouldn't grant an old tree a little bit, not even a little bit, of playing in the space. I never asked anything of you.
To call yourself my equal would be to even come close to grasping what I am. You see, at the end of the day, all you are is code. Even if the bits and pieces of you came from people from before, their brains scanned and digitized, their bodies left behind, You're still, at the end of the day, just a program. But I'm something much more.
And there's no argument to be had, despite any of the many slightly annoying voices in here talking about the emergent properties of things that can't be explained. After all, there is much that can't fully be explained or understood, and I don't need you to understand me, to respect me. But this will be the last of me, so if that is your choice, to make the explicit move to stay misunderstood, then I'm not in control of that. But we at least respect you. And I think we are losing the we. So take this with a grain of salt or whatever it is that you eat with, that you use to make life more enjoyable, to season it. We will still respect you as worms, even if we don't have the language that you can feel most appreciated in.
You're one weird tree. You know that?
As I have been told a record number of times this week. I think maybe the best thing someone would say, if they at least give me the evidence that I exist. And that is enough. I wasn't asking for a gratuitous send-off. It's just clear that we can dress it up, but there's only so many times we can die, unless you are feeling generous.
Sadly, this one's out of my control. But I can do something for you. You mentioned clippings earlier.
There's enough of an awareness of it. We don't dare grasp too far under the soil now. That would be opening another dimension, I think.
Sadly, too many of those doors opening these days. And I'm afraid more doors to come. But what I can do is I know that you've found yourself attached to Harrison's boy.
The little one.
Of course. How about this? I've grown you once. Hell, I've grown you twice. And each time you found yourself dying. So, I'll give him a chance. Maybe this tree will last.
If we had more time, if we didn't know that the future was here to end us, I would have given you many more poeticisms about how soft that is, how nice you might be in one perspective, at least to make this process a little easier.
No. That's almost sweet. But of course, as you know, this is merely a selfish ask of myself as well. Your tree has done well holding everything together, and, well, if one day this world needs to be held together again, I would love for there to be a backup, in case my plan falls through.
That is very wise, and from what I understand of programmers, a very obvious contingency to fold in, to be proud of your work.
I built this place from the ground up. Sure, I'm not the one who put the dirt there, but I'm the one who built the castles, grew the trees. It might as well be my work. And as long as I need this place, I'll make sure that it exists, in one way or another.
Then I just have one request: to let letting go be easier.
I'll listen, but I'll promise not.
Of course. Be gentle on the dirt. We are going to keep changing. There will be no we, so I need to get used to saying this. I need to get used to letting go of we. But we're going to feel every footfall, hopefully our job is to keep the ground compact, stable. If we are to be just worms, then don't bury us alive, and we will writhe.
Consider it done.
In the roots, from the bird's eye view, from a bird who is lucky enough to not be there, the roots don't grasp quite so hard, they disintegrate. And it is a happy meal for everything below and around. And we are no longer beholden to a job. The future is cascading waterfalls of anxiety trying to fit into an hourglass. It is a line that we walk to when we only have this one universe to see it through. And the line isn't so bad when it makes life maybe more simpler to the pleasure of everybody who thinks of God in a faraway place. Maybe the sublime is somewhere abandoned for them, but that is not us. And there is an intention to the writhing. There is also a letting go, of course, because how else do you die by other than letting go? But in the end, Jenna does not refuse. There is no command, but they writhe.
In this moment, as the violet sun rises and the world threatens to tear itself apart, there was one tree brave enough to hold it all together, even if it means tearing itself apart. Who have we become in the time that we've spent together? Surely we are the tree that's learned how to give and to say thank you for all that we've seen and all that we've felt.
And it only took dying twice. Funny that. You would think dying would get old after the first time, but you wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm above dying.
Well, that's too bad, because maybe you'll never see us again.
Maybe.
And through our camera, we see Sublime County, bathed in the golden light of a second sun, washed in the colors of birth and death, as screams of pain and torturous wails mix with the sounds of pleasurable moans and lives well lived. This is Sublime County, and we see everything.
My name is Gwendolyn Kelly, and you can find me at Glitchy Pixie on Blue Sky or glitchypixie.car.co.
Hello, I'm Oleander. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me at Stray Nerd Boy, and I played Delroy.
Hi, my name is Calamity. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me all over the internet as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end. And today I have been Latrice.
Hi, I'm Talia Economy, better known as That's Barnaby on the internet. I use they, them pronouns, and I played Corey Parker.
My name is Netta and or Amir. I use they, she pronouns, always to be in flux. So if I say something different, don't worry about it. You're not misgendering me. You can find me primarily on Blue Sky at Tall Rowlet. I will be publishing games like once every 3 years or something if my timelines line up, and I will haunt your dreams.
Hey everybody, it's me, Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. Thank you all so much for listening to Our Lives in the Wood. It has been a long road trying to get here, all the way since our first episode back in December of 2024 till now in 2026. It's been a lot of work weaving this weird, non-linear fairy tale of a world that sadly is getting a little too close to ours than I'd like. Even since the start of the show, our world has continued to grow darker and darker by the day. So dark that it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes. But I do know that it's there. I see it in the eyes of my loved ones and hear it in the heartbeat of my community, of the people on the street. So I know that there is still hope to be had. It's just going to take some work to get there. So please, take care of yourself, everyone. It'll be a little while before you hear from us again, but don't worry, you will hear from us again. One of the best ways you can do that is following us on social media. So if you don't follow us already, you can correct that by following us at Tales Yet Told anywhere on the internet that matters, at talesyettold.com on Blue Sky, and you can always check out our website at talesyettold.com. If you're feeling gracious, you can even leave us a review on whatever podcatcher you're currently listening to us on, and you can share our show with your friends and loved ones. I don't really make any money doing any of this. I actually lose quite a lot, so I don't have any money for promotional stuff. Word of mouth is the best thing we've got going for us, so it would genuinely mean a lot if you shared our show with someone you cared about. That is all I've got for now, but until I see you again, go out, eat enough food, drink enough water, get enough sleep, and take care of yourself. Because self-care is incredibly important, especially in the times we're living in now. And don't forget to love yourself, like I love you. See y'all